Yeah, we're back. 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 We did it again. We did it again. We did it again. So let's see. It looks like you have a blank screen. Anyways, thank you again for being patient with me. I literally had to restart the stream again just to make sure that I was getting everything correct and everything intact for us to use. So thank you so much for being patient. So again, welcome to the Power Series, with yours truly, Samuel Adranyi. I do this every Sunday where we demystify everything Power Platform. And today's session is an Ask Me Anything session about the Microsoft Power Platform. If you have a question about the Power Platform, what it is, the various components, and what to expect on the show. If you haven't, seen what we've done in the past seasons, I would urge you to subscribe to the channel. Please do that so you can get all the updates. So we try to go through everything Power Platform. We try to we do some hands-on examples. In the very last episode, early claim, Samuel Bond, thank you. Thank you for joining early claim. Yeah, so yeah, for those who don't know what this is, I was telling earlier on that this is, the Meta Ray-Ban glasses. It's a smart glasses. I did unboxing last Friday. So if you missed it, maybe somewhere, around the video, I'm going to put the link to that video for you to see the unboxing and how we do it. So awesome. So in today's session, like I said, Ask Me Anything Power Platform. I'll try to explain it. And then, however, there are some updates that have come to the Power Platform. At the just ended Microsoft Ignite, there was a lot of announcements about the Power Platform, where there was excitement. There's a lot of excitement about what's new in the Power Platform and all that. However, right, if you followed Ignite, and if you didn't even pick anything out of Ignite, right, you should understand and know that as of today, there is, how do I put it? There is a lot of changes, right, that has come to the Power Platform, especially on the Power Virtual Agent, right? So I'm going to take time to try to explain what the Power Platform, literally is. And then we can look at it, and then I'll tell you about the changes that have come. And we'll go ahead to look at, what's new and what to expect from it. So as I'm doing that, if you have any questions, please feel free and drop it in the chat. And I'll try as much as possible to answer that question for you, right? So I'll try to answer that for you very, very easily and simple. So what is the Power Platform? And you're going to see something pretty, interesting. So basically, hey, love your audio. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you. You show us some 7B and some noise gate and compression and EQs going on, so making it fancy, making me sound like I'm I'm some professional someone. I'm nothing. It's just the mic's making me sound professional. Thanks, Sydney. Awesome. So let me take you to let's go to our main screen. So we walk you through before that, let me just explain what the Power Platform is. So the Power Platform is Microsoft's low-code, no-code suite of products, right, that allow you to build applications, build business intelligence dashboards, build business process automations, build workflows, build corporate, websites, all in most cases with no code or low code, right? So as a citizen developer or someone who wants to get to some of these enterprise developments without a lot of the pro code, like you don't have to know a lot of C#, JavaScript, it's pretty much low key. You can easily, build some of these things when, you use a Power Platform. So I'm going to show you something, and then we will come back and have a conversation and discuss that. And if you have a question, you can drop the question in the chat. So let's go to our desktop. As you can see, before that, right, I'm going to bring this up now. So this is the composition of the Microsoft Power Platform. Let me say this was, and I'll explain why I'm saying this was in a very short time. So it's like I mentioned, it's a low-code platform that, Microsoft 365, Azure, Dynamics, and other standalone applications, right? Now, this is the main composition of the Power Platform, and I'm just trying to do like a crash course for Power Platform, especially for people who have not heard or don't know what the Power Platform is. So, it's a suite, like I mentioned, that comprises Power BI, which is for business intelligence, business analytics or business intelligence, so you can create dashboards, reports, interesting stuff. And then there is the Power Apps, right? Power Apps that allow you to build applications, right? With low code, no code. Then there is a Power Automate, which allows you to do process automation. So you want to automate stuff. I want an approval workflow. I'm doing something and I want it to automatically be approved when I move from one step to the other, send emails and stuff like that. Then there was the Power Virtual Agent. I'm saying was for a reason, and I'll explain why. So there's a Power Virtual Agent that allows you to build what used to be known as intelligent virtual agent, right? Intelligent virtual agent, or you might want to call them bots. Then there was the Power Pages, or there is the Power Pages, which is external facing website. So you literally, want to expose some of your, information or corporate data, or some specific information for your customers or client to be able to interface, with some internal processes or your product. You can use Power Pages. Look at it as, kind of like a web builder, right? A low-code drag and drop web builder with no fuss or hassle, right? Now, beneath all this, one thing you need to understand is that all this product on the Microsoft ecosystem run on the Azure platform, right? Behind all these things is the data connectors, and data connectors are basically, in the layman's terms, are just ways or bunch of components that allow you to connect your Power BI, your Power Apps, your Power Automate, your virtual agent, and pages to other services. So I'll give you an example. Let's say you're building an app, right? A Power App, and you want that Power App to send an SMS when, let's say, your leave request is approved, right? Now, Power Platform comes with a little over 400 plus connectors, which is already built into it. So connectors that allow you to interact with Twitter, with Facebook, with Google, with PDFs, you name it, a lot of services, right? However, there could be instances where you don't have those connectors already built into Power Platform. So in that case, you create what we call a custom connector. But for example, if you've used Twilio, which is used to send SMS, there is a connector for Twilio. So if I want my Power Apps to send an SMS when my leave is approved, in building the app or the workflow, I will just go and pick a Twilio connector, provide my credentials, and that's it. That connector is available for you to use in your Power Apps and your Power Automate, or even your virtual agent, right? That's simple. Then I'll jump to the Dataverse, and I'll come back to the AI Builder, right? Now, you jump to the Dataverse. Dataverse is the underlying data, I won't say structure, but the underlying data warehouse or data house or data store, right? For almost everything you do on the Power Platform. It doesn't mean that Dataverse is the only data source you can use on your Power Platform. No, you can use your own MySQL on-premise or in the cloud. You can use external data sources. It's also allowed. Now, AI Builder. So AI Builder was a component or part of Power Platform that was included to actually allow you to build a lot of AI specific stuff. So if you follow the channel, you realize that the last episode we did for last season was building an automated invoice system, where when an invoice hits an email address, we extract the key components from the invoice and store it in a database, right? We did that with the AI Builder. So AI Builder allows you to use underlying AI capabilities, to scan or, take pictures of a receipt, take the data from the receipt, scan an invoice, process a document, and, pretty much a lot of AI interesting things. If you missed it, check, the different sites of my, I'll probably drop the link, somewhere on the, on the screen for you to see. Now, I kept saying that there's no more Power Virtual Agent, right? So with this, maybe you should see my face for this. So basically what happened is that at the just ended Microsoft Ignite, right, there were a lot of announcements, especially in the era of AI and Copilot, right? Now, Microsoft has infused AI Copilot in a lot of the products, making it easy firsthand, like AI native, or AI is kind of like a first class citizen in almost all the Microsoft applications and Microsoft products, right? And with that announcement came the rebirth or the unification of what we used to know as Power Virtual Agent into now something called the Copilot Studio, right? So now Power Virtual Agent is not dead, but it's probably being, absorbed and unified into what now we call the Copilot Studio. Like I mentioned, so the Power Virtual Agent then was used to build intelligent agents, but now because it's now the Copilot Studio, we are saying that you can now use that to build intelligent chatbots and copilots, right? So that has been unified to allow you to build your own copilot, and all this under the hood is leveraging OpenAI and the Microsoft proprietary other AI specific stuff. So now AI is a first class citizen on almost all the Power Platform products. Isn't that exciting? Yeah, I think it's exciting, and you guys, it is exciting. So that's one thing to note. So that's the change. That's where the change is. So now you can easily build Copilot and AI and bot stuff all infused into the new Copilot Studio, and I'll be showing you the Copilot Studio, in a sec. So if you have any questions, just drop them, and I'll try as much as possible to respond to those questions. All right, on your Copilot. So let's go back to the to the screen, and then I'll walk you through the official documents for the Power Platform, and then we will look at the various the various Power Apps, Power BI. We'll look at the various components, and we'll see what's new in it, and you realize that there's it's just infusion of AI stuff. So let's go back to the desktop, and like I said, feel free to stop me or ask me any questions whilst we do that. So let's get here. So here, pretty much is a landing Power Platform page, like I mentioned. Automate everything, build model-driven apps, streamline security and governance. Now, all these things have got AI infused, right? So, like you can see, it's cloud system. It has all the AI capabilities. It's enterprise grade, and we can talk about all that awesome stuff, with the Power Platform. However, this is what I want you to take a look at. Now we have what the industry, Research Insights is saying about it. Gartner, Forrester, they're saying, we're in that quadrant where, the Power Platform is doing extremely well. Now this is kind of like something says that from PwC. If you didn't know that, if you didn't know this was Power Pages, you might think it's custom developed website, because this is PwC using Power Pages to build this, and it's not just them. HSB Bank, Lumen. So Microsoft Power Apps allow us to create a return on investment that exceeds any of our expectations. They saved 117,000 hours with Power Apps, and then they saved 50% in cost. Then there's Lumen. They have 12,000 plus flows, so people understand their business needs, and IT is intuitive enough that it can implement ideas. So there are a lot of use cases, right? Now, the end-to-end solutions, like I was mentioning, so Power BI, Microsoft Power Apps, the Power Pages, and Microsoft Power Automate. So realize that as of now, you don't see Power Virtual Agents. So that's what I was saying, that now it is called the Copilot Studio. And we'll look at the Copilot Studio. And if you're familiar with the PVA, you see that the UI is almost the same, but now it is infused. I think we have a question here. So Ellie Klim says, how free and accessible are the Power Apps to us more of the free? Tell us more about, the free. Okay, so the good thing is that Microsoft wants to ensure that pretty much everybody is utilizing and experiencing the Power Platform. So there are a couple of things that I would share with you that you can, go try out. And I'll add that to, the show descriptions, or just, put it out there. So Microsoft has what it calls the M365 developer program, right? So what the M365 developer program does is that it allows you, all right, it allows you as a developer to try all the Microsoft, developer programs. It gives you an E5, which is an enterprise, subscription, and allows you to try all these things for free, virtually for free. Build your own stuff, play around with them, test it out before your enterprise or your business can actually implement some of these things full time. Let me see if I can bring this up here in a sec. So to answer your question, Eric Klim, that means that the answer is yes. There are some free tiers there, and I'll share with you. I'm going to share with you the how do you call it? I'm going to share with you the link, right? I actually had a blog post about it. Hey, Mr. Mate, the original AI. How have you been, senior man? It's been a long time. It's been a very long time. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, so can all the parts of Power Platform be used together, or they have to be used individually? Good question. So truth is that you can use all of them together, right? So I was going to give you an example that, for instance, if you look at the invoice processing system we're building, right? So it was an email, right? Anytime an email comes into your Outlook inbox and it's an invoice with an attachment, right? We're using Power Automate to literally extract that invoice, download it, and we have an AI builder process that is scanning or extracting all the components of the invoice and then sending it to a backend database. In that case, it could have been MySQL, it could have been whatever database we're using. So to answer your question simply, no, you don't you don't need to use them individually. It's actually, they are better, alone, but then they are awesome and super, when used together. And that's what we keep saying. So use them together. So you can have, for instance, I'll give you an example of my I don't know if I still have this. Unfortunately, I have not set up my IoT rig to show so let me see if I can, let me see if I can bring Reflector back up again and show you this, so you can better appreciate it. So let's open Reflector, and I'll bring this up before we go to see the UIs. So let's see. Awesome. And yes, don't be deceived. It is literally anything you're going to see here is literally built with built as power apps, which is connected to different stuff. So today is Ask Me Anything, so we'll demystify it for you, so don't worry at all. Okay, so let me make sure. So what I'm trying to do now is to get I want to share my screen, and then I'll actually do a quick example of the automate and all that, how simple that is, right? Just do a very simple. Now, one of the painful things for me is that before Twitter became X, right, we used to have a connector that allows us to track when someone sends a tweet, right? So if someone hashtag or sent a Twitter post, with a hashtag or on our side, what we could do was that I could take that Twitter post and then run it through sentiment analysis to say, is this tweet a positive tweet or is this tweet a negative tweet, right? And then I could follow up with the person by sending kind of like a follow-up question, so that was something we could do. So let me take you to the desktop. So what you're seeing now is my phone, which has the power apps, with this, the power app. So how the power apps works is that it has a host application which you install on any of your phones, whether it's an Android, it's an iPhone, you install on your phone, and then you can load your applications, in it. So as you can see, there are a couple of applications here, but this is what I want you to pay. Now let me show you something here. Where is that? Let me see all apps. I want to show you a very simple app. That's something I've not actually set up my, how do you call it? I've not set up my IoT desk to show you that, but I'm going to show you this right now. Okay, so let's do the Power Fund demo. Let me open this, either this or the other one of them. So this is just to, Gordon, why are you still wearing the dark glasses at this time? No, I was just, please, it's not just a dark glasses, right? It is a smart glass, please, you know. So don't mind me. So yeah, so I don't know if you can see the screen now. So what you're seeing here right now is actually a power up, right? Which I call the smart home, which is power to control. So this is a power up, right? Which I built. Now, what does this power up do? If I click on start, now do you see what this power up? I mean, from the UI you are seeing here, all this power up does is to allow me to control the temperature, the humidity. There's a fan here and an office light right from this application, right? So what you're seeing is the power up, that I'm using to do the control, right? Now, however, the actual control, asking how does this app tell the fan in my office right now to go on, or how does it tell the light in my office to go off, right? Behind the scene is the Power Automate, right? So already you've seen two applications. You've seen the Power Up, which I used to design what you're seeing now, and then there is a Power Automate, which is behind, right? Which is behind the scenes, that is actually sending the command from my phone to the cloud, and from the cloud to my IoT device, right? So to answer your question, Mr. Mate, so that is how it works. So you don't necessarily need to use one of them. And I could then, what I could do as well is that I could now take all the data that is coming from the temperature humidity sensor here and then map it on the Power BI dashboard, so that over time I can say what has been the temperature or the air quality in my house or in my room, right, over the period of time. Okay, and that is achievable. So now I would have combined the Power App, the Power Automate, and the Power BI, right? And then I could now take it a step further and then build a co-pilot or a bot, which I can now maybe throw into Telegram and say, so I can from Telegram say, hey, what is the temperature in my house right now? And the bot will tell me, right? Or I can say, turn off the lights using the bot or Telegram bot or whichever channel I put it in. And that will come back to control it. So you can use all the tools together to build, and work on a project. I hope that answered, your question. Yes. So let's continue. Let me bring this here. And yeah, so yeah, keep the questions coming. Keep the questions coming. Keep it coming. So if you have the questions, just keep them coming. So what I want us to do now is, I'm going to, first of all, let me show you the, I'm going to show you where you can, first of all, sign up for M365. So if you go to sajrani.me, actually, let me do this. Let me do this. And yeah, sorry, I actually just noticed, that my, how do you call it? My SSL is expired. So I fixed it. So you might probably get a message is not saved, Thank you, Mr. Mate. Thank you for that. If you have any follow-up questions, yeah, just feel free to ask, and I'll just go ahead and add that to it as well. So yes, so if you go to sajrani.me, which is my website, I have a whole step-by-step guide on how to apply for the free M365 account, right? So let me actually take you there. Sorry, let's do this. So it is sajrani.me, like I said. Yep, and look at that. It's even the one that's coming. I'm saying, yeah, sorry, you might probably think about the SSL. I'll fix that within the week, so you shouldn't have any issues. So this is the article, right, that I wrote that actually walks you through the whole process of step by step, signing up for the Office 365 account, which is free, right, and allows you to try all that. Now, once you are done with creating your Office 365, right, you also need to do this. Go to the Power And don't worry, I'll add all these things as resource notes in the show, in the description of the show, right? So do the Power Platform developer account. All right, do the Power Platform developer account, and then so this is going to take you to the Power Apps developer plan, right? Now, so I encourage you to do this after you have created your free M365 account. So what this does is that it now includes, now look at it. So this is for you, Ellie Clement, all the people who are asking, right? So this is what's included, right? If you set up for the Power Platform developer plan, right? So this is what's included here. You have the Power Apps. It allows you to create Power Apps and test unlimited apps for free, right? And then Power Automate, you can test all your workflows. And then the Dataverse, you get access to it. You can connect your own data, and then you can, use any of the tools, to test things out. All right, that's what you get for it. So, like I said, first of all, don't forget, sign up for the M365 account, and then go ahead and do the developer account, right? So let's do this now. Let's look at the. Let's do this. So, Copilot Studio. Actually, you know what? I think I have it here. Where is that? You know what? Let me just do it. Yeah, so you know that. There you go. Copilot Studio. Right. Now, so if you go to the Copilot Studio, right, which is, so if you go to copilotstudio.microsoft.com, that's going to pop up. Actually, let's just go this way so you can see how it works. I already have an account, right, for it. Yeah, don't worry. We'll sign up again. And go ahead. I don't feel like, don't worry. Yeah, I'll just use this. It's not a big deal. So you're going to see how that works. Where is my multi factor auth? Let's do this. And looks like we're in. Let's do this here. So this is going to open up the Copilot Studio. So copilotstudio.microsoft.com, which, like I said, now embeds or holds Microsoft Power Virtual Agent, right? So here you can see that there are a couple of virtual agents already here. But then now the UI, the UI is pretty much the same, right? So I can go to the home. Automation. Now you see classic because these are kind of like the old bot, right? Now there's a concept of, as you can see from the top here. Let me show this. Now there's a concept of, there's a concept of a new Copilot, or the concept of Copilot. So instead of a bot, which was in the previous, editions, is now going to be Copilot, right? So that means that for those of you, I think we were doing this in Demystify Tech, where I built a lot of bots using the bot composer framework. That doesn't go away. You can still use that to do pro code development, right? But now I'm going to create a whole episode, a whole series on creating your Copilot using the Copilot Studio. So, it's mostly as simple as creating your, clicking on the create, setting a few things up. And today is just to, give you an overview of it. But in subsequent episode, I'll go through, to do more in-depth, right? And then now there's a concept of plugins, right? I don't know if most of you have noticed. Thank you, Kofi. Thank you. My boss has joined the show. So there is the introduction of plugins, right? Plugins in what we call in ChatGPT, right? So that same cost. Hey, yay! My MVP has joined. So Slide, thank you for joining. Welcome to the stream. Share it. Let's get everyone on the show so we can learn some new stuff. Okay, so the concept of plugin is, so initially when ChatGPT was launched, right? What was the key thing was just to let GPT pretty much just you give us response from what it's a large language modules and stuff like that, right? but there was an introduction of plugins, right? So now with plugins, you can actually build your custom plugin for GPT to do something. Let me show you something real quick. So if you have not been using GPT, let me show you something right here. So I use ChatGPT a lot. I mean, fun fact, a lot of my stream titles are generated for me by ChatGPT. So if you go to the top here right now, right, you see there is GPT-4, which has let me take you here so you can see and please, this is GPT plus, right? So this is a paid version. I'm using the paid version of ChatGPT. So this is GPT plus. So this is using GPT-4, which is a latest, and this has DAL in it, and DAL is used to generate images, and this has browsing, right, and it's able to do analysis, right? So this is the new GPT-4 if you have it. So now you can generate images or pictures. Now look down here. You're going to see plugins, right? You're going to see plugins. So let's go ahead and see what these plugins are. Now there are a lot of plugins. So if you open this up, can you see this? You see that there is plugins for Document Maker, AI, Prompt Perfect, diagrams, ask your PDF. So if you add this plugin onto it, you can upload a PDF and ask any questions of a PDF. Now this is right within ChatGPT, right? You could do this on using Bing Chat as well. So diagram, and you can open the plugin store like this, and you see a lot of plugins, right? These are plugins that do different things, right? Now, aside the concept of plugins, if you're following ChatGPT as well, there was a concept of what we call GPTs, right? So there is a which one was that? Was it Create GPT? So these are so this is actually a set of, I would say, let's call it smaller ChatGPT variant, right? That are actually bought on their own, or GPTs on their own that can generate stuff. So there's this popular one that I tried out, which is the Logo GPT, right? So what the Logo GPT does is it allows you to sketch anything, and then ChatGPT will use that to generate an image, right? Let me show you this quickly before we go back into the UI. So here I'll say, you see that it says upload a logo sketch and pick a style. So let me show you this. Let's just open Paint, right? Let's just open Paint, and then I'm going to sketch. Let's say I'm trying to sketch. Don't worry, I'm using my mouse to sketch for today. So if it's not nice, please don't. So let's say I do this, and I'm going to go ahead, File, and Save As. I'll just save it as a PNG. I'll put it on my desktop and call it iPad, right? So I'm doing a rough sketch of an iPad, right? I've saved this. Now, if I go here and upload, and this is still in ChatGPT, all right? So, and you see, so when I upload the image, I can select the style I wanted: abstract, geometry, bold and beautiful, geometric, cultural, ethnic, sporty, mascot, tech and digital. I can choose any of this, right? So I'm going to click this and then go to the desktop where we dropped so I'm going to put the iPad here, put it here, and once it's uploaded, let's try let's use luxury and elegant. All right, so I'm going to put this here, and then let me call it, let me say this, business name, let's say iPad, let's call this iPad for change, right? And say luxury elegant. I mean, as simple. I don't want us to spend much time to it. Now, see what's going to happen. It's just a picture of an iPad, that a sketch that I did, right? So let's see this. You please let me know what background color. So I'll just say, let's use a white background for now, right? So I'm interacting with it, and this is going to create, it's going to generate. So as you can see now, the creating image is using DALL-E or DAL, however you want to call it. That's what it's using to generate the image, right? And then based on the type, which as you can see from here, I mentioned that I want it to be what? Luxury or elegant, right? So we'll see that. So look at that. So you see, so it's added, it's created that thing here, change, and then put an iPad there on it. If I don't like it, I can ask it to adjust it, right? I can ask it to create another one, right? So let's say, let's go back here and say, let's try something that is tech and digital, right? So let's copy this. And let's say, can you try another one? Let's say another one in the tech and digital style, right? So we'll wait for that. And because I've already given it some earlier context, it's going to look at this and try to generate, right? Can you try another one in the tech or digital style? Steve, okay, so let's just wait for it to happen. So whilst that's happening, right? This is just to give you an example of what the plugins are, what the GPTs are, right? And these functionalities, you can now create these functionalities in the Microsoft Copilot Studio, right? I just wanted to use this to lay emphasis, right? That you'll be able to create that. So take a look at this, you see? So this is more tech. So you see, iPad for change. So pretty much interesting, right? But today's topic is not GPT. If you want them to do a whole, stuff on prompt engineering GPT, let me know. I can also do that. But as you can see, you can create those plugins and the Copilot or the GPTs, you can create them here in your Copilot Studio. So Power Virtual Agent didn't go away. It was harmonized into an environment that allows you. Thank you, Renee. Thank you so much. So this just allows you, to create. What it does, it allows you to, to create even more powerful GPTs, agents, or bots, right? So this is not a one-on-one on how to create Copilot stuff, right? But if you look at if you go back to my previous videos, you will see that there's a lot of content on that, right? So content on how to create. But like I said, I'm going to do a whole new series that will show you how to create all this. And today, I'm just elaborating on the various aspects of the tooling. So from there, let's go ahead and move to. So I'm going to open the Power Automate, and then also let me bring out the Power Up. And after the Power Up, I'll show you the Power Up, but it's quite very simple. So let's go ahead and look at the Power Up. Yes. So for me, one of the interesting things for me is I like Power Automate a lot because with Power Automate, I can pretty much automate a lot of things. Like I can say that when there's an email, in my inbox, I want you to do something, right? Or I can go ahead and change and say, hey, I have, one of these, my smart buttons here. When I press it, do something. So funny story to my, for those who know me, they know that I like beer a lot. And one of the things I shared with people was that I have this little button here, which I use to track the number of beer I drink. So if I press it, if I tap on this button, it does different things. Now, behind the scenes, when I tap the button, it's actually calling a Power Automate flow, right? The flow is being called in the background to do a lot of things, right? So assuming I want this button when I press it, right, to send an email. There are ways I can do it. So let me show you now. I'm not going to use the button, but I'm going to create a very quick flow that when activated, right? When that flow is activated, we'll probably send an SOS message, right? So let's do that. Yes, my people are on the show saying they know their boss drinks a lot of beer. Don't worry, I'll get you this week. So let's go ahead and create, I'm going to create a very simple flow. And yes, it's a good idea to use solutions because solutions allow you to do, application lifecycle management and a lot of interesting things. So yeah, so you can see my beer demo here, which is this. And actually, I'm going to use the beer demo to explain how it works. I'm sure a lot of people will be interested to know how that works. So this is how the beer demo works. First of all, I'm going to walk you through the flow, and you're going to see how easy it is. And then I will try to create a very simple flow. So let me open the beer demo. And then you probably see that it's been run a couple of times, but this is just the demo one of it. So I'm going to go through the flow. I'm going to explain the entire flow to you, and then I'll just create another one for you to see how it works. And in the same way, let me actually and now, so thank you so much. So this is perfect timing for me to also explain, right? For me to also explain the new changes. I'm going to take you to the desktop right now. For those of you that are familiar with Power Automate, this is the new Power Automate UI. Like I said, a lot has changed in the Power Automate UI. So as you can see on the right side here, right? As you can see, Copilot is now integrated directly into Power Automate. And the same can be said for Power Apps and all the other Power Platforms. So right from here, I can actually use Copilot to assist me to build or make changes to my Power Apps. All right. So with that said, let me go ahead and explain what this flow is doing on a very basic and simple level. Right. So let's get this out here. So this here, right? This is an HTTP connector, right? But this is a trigger, right? So in Power Apps, a trigger is what initiates a flow, right? So in Power Automate, a trigger is what initiates a flow. So this one is just an endpoint, which you can see here, which is waiting for, this endpoint is actually waiting for a response to, a request to hit this endpoint, right? And this, how this happens is when I press a button, right? And I showed you the pattern. Now, so when I press the button, a couple of things happen. So the next step is it goes into, I have this, how do you call it? I have this SharePoint list, right? And actually I can show you that as well. So let me open the list here. And what the list does is, and this is also going to go to buttress the point I made with, I helped, I was telling Mr. Marty earlier on, right? So yeah, be a demo. Let's see, this might be a demo. Yeah, open this up. All right, so yep, so you can see that there is, it's just a simple SharePoint list, right? Which has, the title is BA and the count is 13 and the restock is 3, right? So when this hits 3, we're going to, a couple of things is going to happen. It's going to send a notification to my wife to restock the beer in the fridge, and stuff like that, right? So basically that's what happens, right? So it goes into this beer tracker, right? So let me actually open, let's go back so I can open that one. Let's actually go back. Yeah, there you go, this one. So as you can see, I have one for Club BA, I have one for Star BA, but I really don't do Star. So public service announcement. If you want to buy me beer, I'm a Club person. This was just an example. All right. Okay. So you can see that there is in stock, there's a restock level, and there's a restock count, right? So anytime you restock, we're getting 12 bottles, right? Now in stock, it says as of now, there are 8 bottles of beer in the fridge, Montreal standard beer, right? Chilled in the fridge. And then if it gets to 4, right, that is the restock level. So when it gets to 4, I get a notification to restock, right? So what the flow is doing is that anytime I press a button, this flow is called. It goes to check, it goes into this list to check or get the number of BS in there, right? And then it goes ahead, this goes ahead to initialize my phone number, my wife's phone number, and then initialize the drink count. And then now check this out. So this is what the flow is doing, right? So this is a condition. It's checking the beer count, right? If the beer count, as you can see, if the beer count is not the same, as the restock level or less than the restock level, a few things happen. It just reduces, right, out here. it just reduces the amount of, the quantity of beer you have at this point, right? It only reduces it, and then just updates the list to say, hey, you've taken 1 bottle, you are now minus 1 bottle, right? Then on the other hand, if in this case, if we are below or at the restock level, you see it. So we check if it's below the restock level. Then in this case, an SMS is going to be sent. As you can see, babes, we are running out. So this goes out. So this goes out to my wife and says, babes, we're running out of beer. Would you be kind to restock? And then, I mean, if that happens, if that happens, right, when the text message goes, it actually starts what we call an approval process, right? And here, the approval process is for, to approve of restocking the beer or to decline the restocking of beer, right? Now, today I'm using beer loosely, right? I'm using beer loosely because that's something that I'm fond of, right? However, this could be any, any scenario, any situation, right? Where it could be in a supermarket as people are buying items and you're scanning, boop, 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 right? The stock level in the back end will be reducing. And if you set a restock level, automatically you can actually prepare a purchase order and send it, and send that purchase order to the vendors or your suppliers automatically, right? So these are some of the advantages or some of the things that you can use the Power Automate to do. So I promise to show you how to create a very simple flow. And all we want this flow to do is to send us an email when we just hit a button. So I'm just going to go here, close this and say we're done. And let's go back. And yes, please feel free to, ask your questions, bring them up, and I'll answer them. We have done, we had to stop this, the stream and start again, but we've done 55 minutes and we have just about 5 minutes or so left. So I'll try to answer the question. Yes, people want to see my face. Thank you very much. This has been my smart glasses. So you see my face. This Samuel's face hasn't changed the same. So let's go ahead. I'm going to share my screen again, and then we are going to create a new flow. So, and one thing you need to do is that when you're creating all these flows, ensure that you have actually done a flow chart, right? Or you have you've decided how your flow should go. Planning is very important. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So all I want to do is that when I press a button, and I'll do it manually, right? When I press a button, I want something to happen, right? I want an SMS, or I want, in this case, this is going to be an email, right? But think about it. You can literally, all right? You can literally, just hit that button, call something. So in how do you call it? To make it interesting, especially to, since it's Mr. Martin that asked, a lot of the questions. I'm going to do this demo specifically for him, right? So let's go into solution, and then I'm going to call this solution. I think I have, okay, let's go ahead and create a new solution, right? And I'll call this Power Series. I'll call this a Power Series solution, so that this is going to store, no, I'm going to use a default. So this would be the solution that would house. Oh, I think there's already good. Awesome. There is already there we go. We already have a solution called Power Series, right? So so the sample post to Twitter, but we're not going to do that. So here, I'm going to, first of all, let me go here. And the good thing is now I can now create all of this in one space. So I can go to flows and see there's a sample flow, and I can come here and create a new automate a cloud flow, right? It can be an automated flow, it can be an instant flow, right? I can do that, or I can actually do that from within from Power Apps, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to create a flow for now. Let's go here and create an app and create a Canvas app, right? So all these are cloud-based. Yes, Electrifying. All these things are cloud-based. So let's do SOS. SOS app is going to be on the phone form factor, And here, look, today, see, I'm not going to focus on making it the aesthetics, making it look beautiful. I'm just going to show you how simple it is to create it. So all I'm going to do is insert a button, bring it into the center, and then let's do this. Let me do 360 and see. There you go. So I'm just going to put just a round button in the middle, somewhere here. And then in here, we're going to say the text is SOS. And let's just put a label, right? Text label. And say, let's center this text. And we'll just say help. Just say help me. Okay. And yeah, you can go ahead and make that bold. Right. So this is just a simple, right? This is just a simple button here. And what we want to do is that, assuming this is an app, right? An SOS app, that when someone presses this button, we want to send an SOS email or an SOS message or anything, pretty much like your emergency contact, right? Something very simple. Yeah, we have a few minutes more to go. I'll try to do this really fast, right? So I can go here to automate and just go ahead. Let's create a flow, right? And then we will call this, and like I said, I can create this from here, or I can just go ahead and create that in, how do you call it? I can go ahead and create it, you know, I don't want to use a template, so let's just go ahead and create a flow, right? We'll create our own flow. So in this case, I'll just have it send an email, right? So you see, so this flow is going to be activated from a Power App. And when that happens, right, anytime this comes from a Power App, so here, don't forget, let's do this quickly. Give your flow a name, right? So I'll call this SOS flow. So let's go ahead. And then this time, what I want to do is that when this button is pressed, right, I want to send an email, right? Let's just make it very simple, right? So I'm going to send an email here. And so what I just did was to say, so this is an example of a connector, right? So this is a connector. I'm using the mail connector that allows me to send emails. Okay, that's why it's called, that's just to buttress on the point on the connectors. So I accept this. It's using SendGrid, Azure Communication Services. So I accept that. So who am I sending this to? So I'm going to send it to sadrani@gmail.com. I'm doing it in the very simplistics of terms, right? And then I can do sadrani, and this is probably going to look, yeah, I'm going to send it to an Outlook. So I could send it to, you know, a number of people. And then the subject to be help. All right. And then easy, help me. I am in trouble. Come to my aid. And in the app, you could also include, you know, geocode. So if it's on a phone, you can send the longitude and latitude into the email. Maybe when the person clicks on it, it can open it in the maps, you know. So basically, this is all it's going to do, right? So when someone clicks the button, just send an email, right? So save, and guess what? As soon as this is done, our flow is ready, right? Our flow is ready to go. And all we need to do now, you see, so that the flow is coming in here. It's coming in here. So you see SOS flow is here. Yep, it's added. So now, if I want to use this button to call this flow, so Mr. Mate, this was designed in Power Apps, and now I'm going to use, how do you call it? I'm going to use a Power Automate to process it. So on select of this button, I'm going to do the SOS. Once I start to run SOS flow, you see it run and call it. That is it. That is as simple as it is. So anytime I click this, SOS message is going to be sent. Now you can go crazy about this and add SMS, call the police, whatever you want to do. As simple as that. So once this is done, all we need to do is save this, and then let's run the application by clicking this. Boop. The app is running. You see, when I click on someone, it says, how sure are you the app is running? Oh, the app is really running. When I click it, you should see some marching ants are there, and it's done. The message is gone. Now, someone says, Mr. Sam, how sure are you that this message went? Okay, check with me. I'm going to open my Gmail. And then, well, first of all, to show you that, the app ran, okay, so I'm just going to refresh this. Just wait for it to reload. As you see the help coming here. Well, I did it in both Outlook and Gmail. So whilst we're waiting for Gmail to update, let me go to Outlook, right? Let's go to outlook.com. And then let me just sign in. Whilst that's happening, I'll just refresh this. Yeah, sometimes it takes, this thing takes a bit, but I'm going to, yeah, so let's go in here. This was, I think, Outlook. Yep. Next. Authenticator app. Let me go to my phone. Let's go approve. Solid. What do you think are the drawbacks or limitation you have faced in using the Power Suite? Interesting. Well, I would say, well, one of the how do I put this? One of the common, I would say, challenges I've faced with it is I'd wanted to do something a bit custom and the connector was not there. But like I said, aside that, I could easily create my own custom connector. But apart from that, I don't think I have had any serious drawbacks, myself. I've been able to execute and do a lot of things with it. So I wouldn't say the drawback I've had like any, I'm yet to find any challenge. The only thing I have witnessed is people trying to do some custom or complex systems and connectors are not there and they have to, the systems they are connecting to don't have APIs, right? And then we have to, either create APIs. But even that, there is there is the robotic process automation, which also with Power Automate Desktop, right? Where if you're dealing with legacy systems that don't have APIs, you can actually use that to track them. Okay, so let's see. Did it go into my junk? It's not supposed to go into my junk. It's supposed to come here. Let's see. You know what? Let's go and check the flow. Where's the Power Series flow? I want to believe, and this is the easiest way to see if the flow failed, the flow run, because by now it should come in. So yep, so this is the SOS flow. So I'm going to open the SOS flow to see. I'll look at the run history. All right. So let's go. Okay, so you see it failed. So one failed. Let's go and see why it failed. That's why we didn't get the message. So nice enough, I can open it up and I can go through and see what happened, right? It says the mail connector is currently restricted for new tenant. Microsoft is working on enabling. Okay, so that probably means the reason why it's saying that it can't send it to the current tenant, right? So I'm going to go ahead, right, and I'm going to modify this. I'm going to change the email, right? I'm going to change the email to within my own tenant so that we can see this in action. So let's go ahead and edit the flow. Now, one thing is that once you edit the flow, you will need to, refresh it. So I'll say, let's send it to Samuel. This should load up. Yep. So Samuel Alafri Logic Solution. Okay. And then, so now it should just send it to this one. And don't worry, you can actually use different connectors. There's even a Gmail connector you can use. So if you don't want to use the mail, you can even also use an Outlook connector. Like for instance, I'm going to do this, right? No, actually I'll do this, add a power branch. So you see, I can actually even do two things at the same time. So let me do Outlook so that I can show you this as well. So Outlook 365, and then I can say send email, right? So here I'm going to try my sadrani@outlook again, and then I'll try the sadrani@gmail.com. Okay, so this is using Outlook, and then the same thing, subject, I'll say help. Now this is just a very simple and straightforward one. I could actually put this in variables and not have to repeat it, right? So I'm going to save this, and then let's go. Okay, so the flow is saying something. Let me remove this. What's this saying? Flow checker says you may break. Oh no, don't worry, this is fine. Save. Let's see this. So this is going to, oh, I don't think it's all mine. So let's do sadrani@gmail.com. Okay, there you go. And then I'll save this again. Okay, cool. Indulge me. We have, once this is done. Okay, so I have updated the flow here, right? So back in the Power Apps, what I want to do is I can refresh this. And you see, it's refreshing is going to remove the flow and re-add the flow, right? So now here, let's add some taste to it. Someone says it doesn't look like a hell button, so let's make it red. And then save this, and let's run the flow again. Yes, don't worry, I'll deal with that later. Okay. So, oh sorry, I closed it. I should have just run that. Go. All right. So now here, all I'm going to do is press the help button. I see the matching ant. Help me. I press the button again. Help me. I press the button. Okay, so now let's go back to our flow. I can go back. And yeah, I think I've already heard something. I heard something coming. I'm pretty much sure that is it. So this one says 7. So I think one side failed, right? And I think one side went. So yeah, so take a look at this. So you see that this side, the right side has ticked correct, and the left side, which is the mail one, that is didn't work. But I can see that it sent it to my Outlook and my Gmail. So now if I go to my Outlook, look at that. Help. All the help is there. I don't know if you can see this properly, but you see that. So help, all these things sent. And then again, if I go to my Gmail now and I refresh, hopefully, you should also see the help. I don't know what Gmail is taking some time, but it's going to pop up. It's just a matter of time. It's going to pop up. But yeah, as you can see here in the Outlook, help, all that came through. So this is just a very simple example of how to use the Power Apps, Power Automate, and all the other services. So today was just to give you a recap of what to expect on the show. So like I said, I'm going to start to do in-depth examples of how to use the Microsoft Copilot Studio in creating your Copilot and bot. That's what I'm going to start from next week. So from next week Sunday, you're going to see me create Copilot bots, show you, walk through that process. But if anyways you are interested in probably seeing something else automated or seeing something else built on the Power Platform, you can reach out to me as well, and I will be glad to help. Also be on the lookout for boot camps I'll be running myself, and some other friends and other MVPs will be running boot camps and training sessions for the Power Platform. If you're interested, just slide in my DM and tell me you're interested. We're also going to be hosting, some training sections for different people, and I can say that if you keep watching the show, subscribe, and perform or do all the activities, you might be lucky to get a discount on our show. With that said, I'd like to say thank you very much for spending your hour with me. And again, I'll plead that you do us a favor by subscribing to the channel. It helps, by making it grow and go far. This has been yours truly, Samuel Adrani. I've brought you another episode of the Power series. Learn something new, do something new. Let's make the world a better place, and go out into the week with a brand new attitude and be positive about everything that happens. With that said, I would like to say a big thank you, and I will see you again next week. See you there.